Hey everybody, I'm out here in beautiful Bernie, Texas, about to jump in and see my good friends, the roadies here. It is a cold, freezing day down here in the Texas Hill Country, and they're not quite out spraying lawns yet, but it looks like it's coming next week. So we're just gonna pop in, have a quick conversation, and see how they're doing. Hey everybody, I am here with the roadies in Bernie, Texas. This is Turf Masters, Texas. It's also our BioGreen of the Hill Country. These guys have been with us for
about 6 years.
6 years. Mm-hmm. 6 years?
Seven.
Seven years, a little while. We were just kind of hanging out today because I'm in town. And last time I was here, Mark took some really good notes. And
Chicken scratch.
Built a program.
Don't look at it too close.
And we were just talking about this and kind of going through the math on it. And right now, mainly running Bermuda and Georgia, some St. Augustine, on a program that's putting out about 1.4 pounds of nitrogen a year. And we were just discussing results about that. So I've just, feedback. What are we seeing?
It's working well. Now, with that amount of N, our properties are taking off really good, exponentially compared to a couple years ago. Everything's thicker, hardier. It wears better. The grass is doing it better overall.
Good.
So we're happy with the mixture of BioGreen. The amount of nitrogen we're using, it's phenomenal. And according to John, it's not a lot of nitrogen.
Nothing.
Per acre.
Yeah.
So we're throwing down very little, but we're getting great results.
And this was a modified program too from what we were running before, turned into a bit more of a hybridized system, which is something I talk about a lot, where we're doing combinations of product, using RGS, using ammonium sulfate, using 20 plus, a few different components to get to where we want, because we're still trying to drive down the roots. A little bit of iron supplementation in there as well in the summertime to make sure that nothing's getting burned. But even prior to this, we were only running about a pound of N a year and made some adjustments just to kind of prop everything up and work on a little bit more of a hybridized program, because for the last 6 or 7 years, there's been so much soil work, and that was one thing we were talking about a moment ago as well, is that even the effectiveness of the insecticides that are being sprayed, fungicides, anything else that you might be doing, which is part of a traditional program, you're having no.
We don't have any issues with grub, chinch, chigger. All of our sod is phenomenal. No issues with insects. Fungus, very little. We're using RGS also in our program twice a year as a soil stimulant. We're just started using that last year, so that's coming into play, and I guess we'll see the results of that.
Yeah.
As spring comes out, but pretty happy with the program. It's working well. It's taken a little bit to get to this, but it's doing really good now. And here in South Texas, we're limited by water. That's the biggest thing. There's water restrictions where you water once a week. Maybe twice a week, and that's it. So it's hot and heavy during those times. You water heavy, and it's got to last. So that's where the BioGreen, we think, and the RGS is kicking in and doing its job. It's hanging on to that moisture. The roots are deeper. So, we're maintaining green lawns through the summers here, and that's huge.
It is huge. It's hot, it's dry, and that works really well. That was another thing we were talking about as well, is irrigation and properly managing that. And there's an article on the Lawncology site about that, where we basically talk about filling the pan every time there's a watering. Do a deeper watering, let the grass stress out a little bit before you water again so that the roots go deeper. Because everything that we're doing, especially in heat, is to drive down deeper roots, get into the cooler soil, make the plant work for its water a little more, and it just makes everything more drought tolerant, heat resistant. You end up doing a bit better. So simple stuff.
Yeah.
So simple.
Well, simple for some, not for most. To be honest with you, customers can be trying.
That's right. Yeah. There's no way to fix a trying customer. That's never going to happen. So it's great. Anyway, Anything else you guys want to throw out there? They doubled their spray business last year. Congratulations. That's fantastic.
Doubled our client base in 1 year, so it's pretty good. We get very few callbacks. People are happy with our program and the service. And, you got to know what you're doing when you're going into the field. You just do. Everybody looks to you as the professional. And
that's right.
You tell them what you know, and if you don't, call John.
Fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, that's it. That was easy. Was that easy?
That was easy.
Nothing to it.
First YouTube video.
You guys did great. See, they're doing great. They're doing great, everybody. All right. 3, 2, 1. Down in San Antonio, getting ready to head into the GIS. It is cold. It's very cold, but we're going to make this happen. So at the Golf Industry Show, hasn't changed much. It seems as though everything's kind of going exactly the way that it was before. My main interest here was looking at the nutrients, what people were offering, the different companies that were here representing. And it was all the big guys, as usual. And it just seems like everybody's talking about how their nitrogen's better than everybody else's. Time out. So clearly you could see I was pretty disappointed by this particular situation. I don't actually know that I was able to express myself in the way that I really needed to get the point across. I walked the floor. I was there not as a representative of my company. I was there with family. I was actually there listed as a golf course owner while I was there. And so I was approached differently in the booths, in talking with people. Nobody really knew who I was. They didn't really need to. I didn't present myself as a fertilizer company, a manufacturer, or somebody who's focused on plant and soil nutrition. So the conversation was considerably different. I was on the other side of the aisle, which is not a place where I normally am. And I haven't been for a long time. So listening to the pitches and what was coming across to me, and how these guys were trying to describe their materials in the sort of detail that they had, and I do use that very loosely, it was underwhelming to say the least. Obviously I wasn't there to buy anything. I was there to just look. I was there to observe, and I was there as a guest. And I like to see what people are talking about. I like to hear it. I like to kind of understand if there's anything new coming down the road, any new technology that's being shared about or being talked about. I'd love to hear about it if it's something that I don't know. So learning about those things I think is super important. But there wasn't that. I spent a little time in the new products section. I went down to every major supplier that there was. I took info sheets, things that said new product. I would grab it and take a look at it. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So you changed 1% of something. Congratulations, breakthrough. It's become unimpressive. Now, for a lot of what we do, it's very relationship based. It's, people buy stuff from their reps, as they have for many, many years. They formulate relationships with them, and business is done very much like that in this industry. It's groups of people who really do stick together for a long time. So from an outsider, it can be a little harder to get in and to break that mold and that in that tight of a business. And I don't really feel the need to. Again, we've gone direct to our clients for so long. The thought of having distributorships is a little challenging. So here's where I'm going with this whole thing. The liquid side of nutritionals is really getting a good push. It's wonderful. That's super helpful. We know, for obviously being in this liquid business for a long time, how effective it is. There's a time and a place for every tool, but everyone is still trying to wrap your heads around this for a second. Companies are trying to make liquid perform like a granular, and trying to make granular perform like a liquid. Not sure what to do about that, because they both serve a great function. Okay? They both do different things. There's times for different things. There's reasons to put out different applications of something to do a certain effect. I don't know why that can't just be accepted. You can run a program 100% liquid. Easy. You can run a program 100% granular. Easy. If your focus is total nutrition, as long as you're getting all the components in there, then you're going to make it happen. And that means nurturing soil. That's not just nitrogen. That's not, don't just look at NPK. That's the old way of looking at things. It doesn't work. It's shown it doesn't work. Yes, you can make grass pop for a short time, but you can't sustain the results. Your chemical usage is going to go through the roof if you're not managing the soil as well. So, again, was I disappointed in everything that I saw? Yeah. Was there a bright light anywhere? Can't really say. Was I disappointed I was there? Absolutely not. The GIS is a great show. It is very golf oriented. Last time I was there was 2011, displaying in a big booth, trying to make a big show about it. And, I love golf. I love playing golf. I love selling to golf courses. I love the whole thing. I love what our products do on golf courses. But it's not a market that I go after. It's not my market. People who are on our program in golf stay on our program in golf because it's super effective. But what happens in the residential market, and when we're applying and really able to show the leaps and bounds that a landscape can go through to a homeowner who's judging everything aesthetically, okay? Not from a science-based piece, not because they're soil testing all the time, not because they're doing, all of this extra management. They're just there looking for the beauty of it. I mean, that speaks volumes, because not only are we providing that beauty piece, but we're also providing the fixing the soil environment piece and the management of all of those years of poor cultural practices that go down on turf. So just while you're watching this, I wanted to just kind of break in the middle of that, then go back to my sort of not really feeling so great sort of monologue that was happening, and that's it. So time in. I gotta be honest, I think that there's a lot of things that could be coming down the pike, but nobody's talking about real nutrition here, just about the same thing. 20 different companies trying to sell triazone and methylated urea in a different package. It's really a shame. So, not really as much as I would have hoped to share about, but good to see what was going on here. There were some familiar faces in, get to talk to and, some of the other vendors, but it's interesting how people are treating grass. Again, chemicals are dominating here more than anything else. A lot of white noise is one of the reasons that I stopped doing this show. Was it just turned into kind of a zoo and not really a good platform for me, talking about more nutrition than anything else. So yeah, this is pretty much what's going on here. Had a wonderful meeting today with a company up in Austin area, Texas. Brought to mind an awful lot of things. Love their everything that they're doing there. It's a great organization, great people. You can tell the way that everything's run there. It's done with a significant amount of care, client care, vendor care. Everything about it is really top notch. I loved everything that I saw. Now, the one thing that I would say, and this is not their company, this is not specific to their company, this has really nothing to do with their company, that always catches my eye whenever I go in to meet with these places is the types of products that are being used, and what their point is, what their whole goal is that they're attempting to accomplish, why they're using tools that they're using, what are they actually getting, and it takes me into a mode where I have to really look at labels of things that are in the buildings and what people have. And it shocks me most of the time when I see what's actually being sold. And I say that like this. So often companies are selling things that are not what they say they are. And I wrote an article about this, having to do with snake oils and substance and things that are out there and what people are doing. And this ties into what I saw at the GCSAA show, the GIS. Forgive me, I keep saying GCSAA, the golf industry show. So many products that are water, just water, so much water, next to no nutrient load. And you read the description and they sound fantastic, absolutely amazing. It does everything. If your plant does not grow roots so deep that they turn into legs and it walks off and finds itself into a better place to plant, you should get your money back, according to most of these labels. And it's a shame, and it's a sham. It's so fictitious and wrong, and so many companies and individuals are getting taken advantage of because of these sort of miraculous claims. Now, I look at my literature, I write most of it. What I write is sometimes a bit sloppy in comparison to what finally gets out and is put onto labels and onto marketing material, because I write like I speak. And it can be a little disjointed, and sometimes that's just sort of how it is. But looking at some of these label claims from some of these products out there, from a variety of companies that are making big market pushes, companies that are have loads and loads of dollars behind them, who are in every trade magazine, who are well known. I'm blown away at the reception they're getting, and not just that, at the prices that they're charging for this material. It's shocking. 4, 5, 6 times the amount of products that we're carrying and selling, and theirs have less in it. Their application rates are higher. I would have to recommend, if you wanted to even call it comparable products, at rates that were 12 times just to come into a cost that was similar. And that's not okay. It's not okay. So I have always had an issue with that. We've been trying to build these programs for people that are cost effective. It's like, why does it always have to be one or the other? It's either cost effective or it's effective. okay? Why can't it be cost effective? The products work, they do exactly what they're supposed to do, okay? You get it out, makes everything exactly how it was sold to you go correctly, but it doesn't break the bank. There's just no reason for this. And shame on the companies that are doing this and taking advantage of consumers this way. It's as if you just want to come into the market, make a bunch of money on the short end, and sell it or get out, or it's so disingenuous, it really is upsetting. And, you know, do I want to arm wrestle the people that do it? No, forget about it. If they've got the money behind them and they want to push this out there and they're looking to, you know, help develop, you know, this message of carbon-based fertility and, you know, foliar-fed nutrients and things like that, go for it. Please, it's helping me. The more you do out there, the higher you jack your rates up, the more advertising that you can do because of it is only helping me get my message across even stronger. So I really absolutely appreciate that. I encourage you companies to continue to sell those super high priced products, to continue to pump the advertising out there, because you are doing me more favors than I could ever hope for. You are truly my best advertising right now. I don't have competitors. I have an awful lot of people out there who are helping me sell more product through their shortcomings. I think that a lot of lawn care companies need to actually realize that as well. When you're out there, you don't technically have competitors in your market. You don't have competitors. You have people that you're trading customers with on a pretty regular basis. And the bigger they are, the more they shed. The more they shed, the more you can pick up. And it has to do with positioning. What you ultimately provide to your customer at the end of the day is you. It's your service. It is you showing up on time. It's you communicating correctly. It's you owning up to mistakes that are made. That's what builds a business and keeps it. So this is how I like to do things. I like to see the field. I like to know the products that are out there. I know my industry very well. I study it on a regular basis. I don't need to study other products, because in the fertilizer business, what difference is there really at the end of the day? There's a few different forms of nitrogen, maybe a few different forms of phosphorus, a couple different forms of potassium. All right, NPK is pretty much going to be the same. What about the rest of it? Well, there's only a few suppliers of iron in the country. There's only a few places that supply sulfate of potash. They're either importing it from overseas or they're getting it sourced here. There's not a lot of difference. So then it comes down to the functionality. When you create something that has a specific function, a combo product, a combination of products that are used together, whatever it may be, okay? Making sure that your customer, your client, and ultimately the people that are putting their trust in you know that this is a tool for this job, it's used for this job only, is the best value that you can have. Not just, put it all out there, put it out there. If it didn't work a little, put it out more. That'll be better. Put some more down, put some more down. That's not a good program. And where's the trust? Where's the looking out for the customer? Where is that? It's not there. I'd like to be able to walk in and say, hey guys, you may not actually want to, maybe you won't be buying from me. Maybe you're going to continue to buy from your supplier. That's fine. If you're going to do that, then do this. Be smarter than your supplier. You need to ask for these particular things. You need to not have them charge you more than this. And you need to know that your rates are also in this category. All of those are super important things. Rather than just saying, okay, yes, I'll take it. What's the price? And tell me how to use it. And you end up with something that's potassium chloride in a tote, something that costs next to nothing per ton in water-soluble form,
and they're charging you 7, 8, 9 times what that goes for. It's nonsensical. Read the label. Read the label. What do you got in there? What's in this? What's really in this? What's the percentage of this? What's the percentage of that? What's the source of that? You should know how to do this. And if you're not doing it, you're kind of doing yourself an injustice. Really. Your company can suffer because of it. Your lawns can. So, just kind of rounding this out, I want everybody to know that dealing with me, dealing with representatives of my company, dealing with our products, dealing with anything that how we sort of represent and who we endorse. Okay, there's a reason we do it, and it's an integrous one. I really have to get to know people. I have to understand who they are before I'll really recommend them to somebody else. I want to see how they do their business practices. I want to see everything about it. It's very important to me because that's how I do it. I don't leave my kids for a week just because I get to leave my kids for a week. I come out here and I do this for them. I do this for my employees. I travel because it's important. I want people to know who I am and know that they can count on me to be able to do the right thing. So, it's a different scenario. Again, sort of looking at the whole picture. I know this is sort of a long-winded thing, but when we're looking at lawns and soil and nutrition and all of these different items, we put it all together, we wrap it up with a bow, and we deliver a system that works. It's the same thing for me as a representative of my company. I want you to know who I am. I want you to know that I can be trusted. And I want you to know that you're just not getting sold something. Because really, coming down this road and changing the way that we're applying nutrients and caring for the soil is a partnership. And people need to be on the same page as to what that's about. So, in summary, read the label. Watch out for these she products that are out there. There isn't a miracle in a bottle. There's not. Don't think that there is. I don't sell anything like that. I just have some high performance stuff that works really, really well. But you're not going to pay these boutique prices for something like that.